Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin Dennison. Along with me, fan favorite Atomic Tommy.
The fan favorite
Atomic Tommy in the house.
In the house.
And we are broadcasting from our studio here at Most Wanted Comics here in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. I want to send a shout out to the fans watching. Hey, Matt and JD, how you doing? Scott and the boys, how you doing? Sarah, Jessica, Scarlett, how you guys doing out there? Thanks for following us. And I just want to say hi to everybody. If you like what you see on this show weekly, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. We have action coming up. And I tell you what, today, we did not disappoint. It's kickoff of baseball season. And in honor of that, we had a big day. We had a signing in the store. We had 1991 World Series champion, former Minnesota Twins pitcher, Kevin Tapani here signing autographs, and boy, we had a turnout for him.
It was a great day. We had a lot of fans here. Thank you to everybody who came out to make the store signing. You know, it's you guys that make the signings possible, and you support them. You guys supporting them, you know, helps us to keep doing them. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah, if you guys keep supporting it, we're going to keep providing the life experiences to have great meet and greets, because we try to. That's our goal. You know, we have people that kind of poo-poo it. Why do you guys have signings at the store? I tell you what, it makes the store fun, and it does. You know, we're at a point in our lives where there's enough serious crap going on in the world. It's fun to escape. Come to the store, forget the problems out in the world, have fun. Meet a cool person, meet someone that had an influence in your life, and we try to provide that life experience to serve the community.
Absolutely.
And we have the greatest customers, so thank you for
for $15 too. I mean, that an autograph's only $15. That's
3 shakes at McDonald's.
3 shakes at McDonald's. It was a great deal to meet a great guy. So
great stories too. Fun to talk about the old team, a world championship team. So anyway, get out your brackets. In a minute, we're going to continue our process down the road with our Most Wanted Madness tournament. But we have to do some housekeeping here. Our next signing, if you're interested, and again, if you follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Instagram, you're always going to be kept. If you're a maniac too, you'll get emailed. But you're always going to know what's going on here at the store. And April 13th, before you have to pay those ugly taxes,
the legend Tom Cook.
The legendary Tom Cook is going to be right here at Most Wanted Comics. And I tell you what, he is so instrumental in my childhood because I watched a lot of the cartoons he worked on.
Yes, He-Man, She-Ra, Super Friends, Smurfs. I mean,
Dandor, Scooby-Doo.
Dandor and Scooby-Doo. We can't forget about Scooby-Doo. He drew it, he animated it. I mean, he is a legend, and he will be here on the 13th. Keep up with our social media.
Yeah, if you
for
want
all the details.
Just a cool person. Just come on out and say hi and say, hey, thanks for making my childhood entertaining.
Absolutely. We'll be promoting it. We'll be putting up information for all you to see on our Facebook, Instagram, all the usual sources.
And on their website, mostwantedcomics.com.
Yep, you can find the link in the bio in our calendar section of the page up there, and we'll have something put up probably within the next week or two regarding the actual signing for you guys to see. So keep up, keep track, and come meet Tom Cook on the 13th.
Wow. I tell you what, while you're getting your brackets, everybody, it's time to do our comic book checkup with Atomic Tommy.
Let's talk some comics. Let's be positive first.
Let's be positive.
Nightwing is cool. A new Nightwing came out this week. Everybody likes Nightwing. That book was awesome. Tom Taylor's a great writer. We all know it. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong came out. We've talked about that a few times. That's really cool. People still poo-poo it. I still think it's really cool. That came out. Moon Knight #3 came out, man. I really love, it's a love-hate with this Moon Knight run. What I really like that Jed MacKay is giving each individual member of the Midnight Mission that's been around for a while, Soldier, Reese, Tigra, these characters that were very prominent in the last run and even before that, coming in here and really getting their own issues to really focus on their character after the death of Mark Spector. I think that's really cool, and I think that's something that is definitely earned and deserved for these characters. The problem is that they still won't tell us who the Moon Knight is. I don't know if it's hesitation. I don't know if it's just some sense of, I don't know.
They need to rip that Band-Aid off.
They need to rip the Band-Aid off.
Too much timing. It's just,
and the problem,
you're wasting a good story, people.
The new Moon Knight wasn't even really in this last issue. I mean, he was mentioned a lot, but they're just, it's the actual reveal of the identity, isn't going to be as cool if the build up isn't cool. If you're not building up to the reveal won't be cool, and they're not really building up to the reveal. I don't know when they're going to start. So I think they're taking too long. I think they just need to rip the Band-Aid off and get to it. But anyway, I still like Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight's still a great run. But now, let's talk about what all the eyes are on, Web of Spider-Man. I hated that. That was so bad. I mean, that was just...
Tommy hated Web of Spider-Man.
I did. Now, I didn't exactly hate the content. I hated the idea. I hated what it stood for. $8 for an advertisement. That comic was an advertisement. Purely meant to build up excitement for future Spider-Man stories to come. Now, it's not a new thing. Marvel does it all the time.
They don't have enough Spider-Man.
They don't have enough Spider-Man. God, they got like 8 different titles going. They don't have enough. They got to have more. But the $8 is just too much for that. And to be honest, you're trying to convince me to read these comics. And Kane is cool. Kane was in this book. I like Kane. Spider-Man 2099 was cool. I like Spider-Man 2099. Ghost Spider-Gwen was in here. She's cool. But it's all just advertising for their new stories, their new titles coming out. You don't need to convince me to read that. I'm going to read it.
It felt like gobbledygook.
Yes, that's a new word for you. Good job. That's a big word.
Gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook. That's good job. He learned a new word, folks. But any... You disrupted the flow, man.
I'm sorry.
You disrupted the flow.
Well, so much negativity. We needed some zen. So
just mute yourself. Stop.
Calm me down. See now you're calm. Now we're okay.
Okay. Back to it. Right. Anybody who's reading Web of Spider-Man probably doesn't need to be convinced to read a new Kane story or a new Spider-Gwen story. They're gonna read it. So who's this really for? It's not like Marvel has a massive influx of new readers who are new to Spider-Man. That's just not the reality. So who's it really for? And and then we got the little teaser at the end with, they're gearing up to Amazing Spider-Man 50, where they're going to bring back the Green Goblin. No, please. What did we say last week? I don't like that idea. Many people don't like that idea. Do not ruin my boy Norman. Now, I don't know if in this big Green Goblin return, Norman Osborn will be, the Green Goblin again. They'll probably maybe do a Hobgoblin and bring somebody new in. But even then, can't we just let the Green Goblin go? Can't we just...
Green gobbledygook.
Shut up with the guy.
I just want
You have been muted. All right, back to it now that we don't need to worry about him anymore. It's okay. I handled the problem, folks. Okay, look. At the end of the day, this book was just a waste of time. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of money. The advertising, sure. Again, I like the characters. The characters are cool. But it's hard to get excited for stuff and to build excitement for things when there's not really a lot of excitement. It's not like these stories had massive, big moments that really get you excited for things. They revealed characters and stuff, but it was very minimal. And it's hard to get excited for stuff when there's nothing to really get excited about, I don't think. So that's a long-winded version of me saying I didn't like this book. Don't kill Norman Osborn. Don't ruin him.
Just in case you didn't know,
and
Tommy was not a fan of this issue.
I was not. I don't like paying $8 for an advertisement. So that's a big problem.
Let's move on to what's coming out this week.
Let's move on. So for those speculators out there looking to make a quick buck, trying to still ride that wave even though it's rapidly crashing, Ultimate Spider-Man #3 comes out. See where the story goes. You see how it sells. Ultimate Spider-Man 2 did sell well. Ultimate Spider-Man 1 sold unbelievably. So we'll see how #3 does. The Ultimate books are a great case. They're a great thing to study, really, into the interworkings of the comic book market. Ultimate Spider-Man 1, big hit. Ultimate X-Men, a fail.
Let's talk about X-Men, though.
X-Men, well, the X-Men doesn't come out next week, but we can talk about X-Men for a quick second. That book, I think the big problem is that book, Ultimate Spider-Man and the hype around Ultimate Spider-Man came out early enough to where retailers could still order and over-order Ultimate X-Men. So I think what ended up happening is there's just so many out there now. And I think it was something that I thought could happen, and I think a lot of us thought it could happen, but it was just hard to tell given how Black Panther sold. That came out, I think, a month, a little before, a month after. I don't remember the exact release date, but it was, there was a time frame in between the release of Spider-Man and Black Panther.
Yeah.
And even that book sold out. That number one was still going for $20-$30 on eBay. So it was just kind of hard to tell how X-Men would pan out, but
the speculators got burned on Ultimate X-Men.
They did, I think, unfortunately. Yeah, that book, it was rough. But it was
cool,
cool,
what else comes out this week?
Well, what else comes out this week? We got X-Men 97, number one. Man, that was a great show. And if you guys have seen it, I won't spoil any of the big details, but man, that Cyclops landing in that first episode was amazing. I'm not a huge X-Men fan, but that kind of got me hyped. I was hyped for Cyclops. That was awesome. But I'm going to be honest, I don't know if this comic is a direct adaptation or if it's a tie-in thing, but it'll be cool nonetheless, so check it out.
Sounds great. All right, everybody, it is time now
for the brackets.
Time now for the brackets.
Get the brackets out.
We're on the Great Eight, so this is going to go a lot faster. Shang-Chi was the talk of the tournament, made it to the Great Eight. We didn't know what was going to happen, but did run into Swamp Thing, and that was a buzzsaw for Shang-Chi.
That was rough. Shang-Chi had a great run. The 10 Rings carried him far past Captain Marvel. A lot of people didn't think that was going to happen, but he upset everybody. But now he's going up against Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's kind of on a different level than Shang-Chi here. He's sort of an elemental force. I mean, you can't destroy Swamp Thing. As long as there is green, as long as the Earth is around, Swamp Thing will be around. And, just on a base level, Swamp Thing is more powerful than Shang-Chi. I mean, he has control of nature pretty much, so it's really hard. It was going to be really difficult for Shang-Chi to beat Swamp Thing here, and Swamp Thing kind of wiped the floor with him. So that was a kind of, it was a great match to watch, the Shang-Chi and his 10 rings at power. But, man, I'll tell you what, Swamp Thing just kind of kicked him out.
This next one on there, Swamp Thing basically wiped the floor with Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that was rough.
The 10 rings were no match.
No.
All right. No, I'm not going to say it. It was bad. All right, so anyway, the Flash meets up with the Doom, and I tell you what, it was over for the Flash before it started. Dr. Doom wipes the floor with Flash, and it was over by halftime pretty much. Doom was having fun with him. He put your favorite character in a gerbil wheel. Let him do the
impractical. That was, we don't have to talk about that, okay? That did not happen.
Flicked him away.
Doom put on an anti-speedster spell. Doom knows magic. It was kind of over for the Flash. I'm not happy about it, as you can tell. It was, if it was up to me,
Doom.
Folks, if it was up to me, the Flash would have won and probably should have won, but it was not up to me. Obviously, the matches play out for themselves.
Dr. Doom facing the Swamp Thing in the Final Four.
Absolutely.
And over on the next side, you had Raven versus Ghost Rider. Raven, another upset Scarlet Witch. Epic matchup here with two demonic powerhouses.
Absolutely. Ghost Rider, this was a tough match for Ghost Rider. I think Ghost Rider kind of underestimated Raven here a little bit. I mean, Raven is no joke. Ghost Rider is no joke. Ghost Rider, it was a tough fight. It was a weird fight. It was a long fight. Ghost Rider had to go into hell, physically, leave the fight, make a deal with Trigon, and to knock Raven out of this fight. Ghost Rider was struggling a little bit. And we don't know what the deal was, but Raven did lose, so it had to be something.
Ghost Rider advances into the Final Four, and the other matchup, Wonder Woman versus Deadpool. The fact that Deadpool just couldn't die just was too much for Wonder Woman to handle.
Look, I think a lot of people underestimate Deadpool because he's, he jokes around. He's not as serious. He's often portrayed as, he just kind of goes around. He's the merc with the mouth, right? But he can't die. He does have some enhanced agility, some strength to him, some power, and when you can't die and when you can constantly regenerate, there's not a whole lot Wonder Woman can do, even with her magic, knowledge. The Seuser last week pointed out that Wonder Woman could simply wrap him up with the lasso and just leave him there, and she tried that, but he got out of it, dislocating every bone in his body
and cutting off his own limb
and cutting off some limbs to slip through that rope. I'll tell you, it was gnarly. It was gross,
but effective.
And Deadpool won the fight. People aren't going to be happy. Frankly, I'm not happy, but Deadpool's continuing on.
Deadpool against Ghost Rider. So our Final Four in the brackets, if you're following along, Swamp Thing versus Dr. Doom, Ghost Rider versus Deadpool. We'll have to see how it plays out next week for the results. But yeah, I tell you what, we have had great participation in this bracket. Some people have come in and expressed their disagreement with it. But again, we just report the findings.
Yeah, we
just report the results.
It's not up to us, folks. We don't. It's not our. We don't write the scripts, man.
This is awesome. So we thanks again for participating in this. We're almost done with Most Wanted Madness. So we're on to the final four now of this bracket. And I tell you what, we're having a great time with it. And I can't wait to announce the winners. We'll see who wins at the end. And then we'll the people with the most points on the boards will get some nice prizes from Most Wanted Comics.
Yep, they will.
I tell you what, this is a short week this week. That's all we have for this week, but make sure that you like us and make sure you subscribe to this channel. And also, we have some segments out now. Make sure you, we've been adding in some things during the week. You have the Moments with the Mafu.
Yep, Moments with the Mafu coming out.
And then you have Atomic Tommy's Takes coming out.
Yeah, I'll be doing some short segments. We'll have some reading recommendations. I'll be throwing out some graphic novels for you to check out. We'll be doing some card unboxings in general. You keep an eye out for new stuff coming out on the channel.
Yeah, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on all the cool stuff going on at Most Wanted Comics. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.